Good morning, Sue Smith with you on this Tuesday morning, and lovely to be with you here, sitting in for Elias for this week and the next week as well. Coming up, we're going to talk about the Montreal Neurological Institute. You know, in many ways, it is cutting edge. The hospital is a world-renowned center for brain injuries and strokes, but in other ways, the neuro, as people call it, is stuck in the past. The building dates back to it's kind of a mishmash, 70s and 80s, and doctors say it is well past its prime. Now the hospital is pushing Quebec to approve a modular building as a quick fix, following other hospitals that have taken this route during the pandemic. Justin Létourneau is the director of the Montreal Neurological Hospital Receiving Area and a critical care physician. He joins me on the line. Good morning.
Hello. Hi, Sue.
So what's it like in the neuro right now for doctors and patients?
Well, as the article in La Presse mentioned, I think we provide great care, and we have wonderful healthcare providers that are dedicated to our crafts and to our patients. But our situation in terms of the building itself is quite obsolete. We are limited in what we can do because of the state of the facilities. And it's not because we haven't tried to maintain them to the best that we can, but it's just that modern medicine needs to be provided in modern infrastructures, especially with regards to advanced care, tertiary neurological care. And we've suffered from now poor infrastructure for quite a while, and it's time for us to move.
Yeah.
So
I'm just curious. I mean, you referenced that article in La Presse, and we heard about, patients recovering behind curtains. There's no privacy. You have to have tests in the middle of the room. But I'm wondering, you talk about the great care and the personnel, but how challenging is it for you to deliver great care in those conditions?
Yeah, it is difficult, especially with some hospitals in Quebec have benefited from modern mega projects. I've referred to the CHUM, the MUHC, the Glen site is our state-of-the-art facility, and tremendous amount of money was invested into those infrastructures. Sadly, some other hospitals were somewhat left behind. And in those situations, it's difficult to keep the personnel motivated, to attract physicians, especially internationally. If you think about it, some other countries or offers for those physicians of international renown have different facilities, if you want, than what we can offer presently. So in terms of the quality of care, I don't think that we are never jeopardizing on this, but at the same time, in terms of how we give it, it's very difficult. It's difficult to keep the morale. I think COVID was especially difficult. If you think about exposing weaknesses to a building, I think COVID was shocking for us because we work in an open ICU, for example, and the problem with that is that there is communication between the rooms. So it was an immense clinical challenge to provide safe care in those conditions. And there was a plan for the neuro to move, I think, in 2017-18 to the Glen site. But year after year, it's been postponed for one reason or another. But now we feel the urgency, and I think that's why it was important that we let people know about it, that we cannot go on like this for other years or even another decade. So we need new facilities.
Right. So what are you asking for from the government? Because you're talking about new facilities, but it sounds like what you're asking for is a fix in the meantime. Is that right?
Well, that's it. So initially there is two aspects. There's this larger project that moving the whole neuro as an institute of research and hospital together, and this comes with a much bigger budget. But we understand the financial constraint that we are right now, and I think the MUHC and the neuro team have been very creative in finding ways and looking at other ways to get the modern facilities, but at a lower cost. And I do believe that those modular units have been used with some success, and especially with building what we would need to have full clinical activities, but in 2026.
And so what would it look like? It would, from my understanding, you would like to set up a new building on the Glen site that is, I mean, what does the modular part mean?
It means, for us, it would mean a brand new ICU of about 12 to 14 beds. It would mean 90 patient beds. It would need also a new imaging suite, which is critical for what we do in terms of we do advanced intervention in the brain with a radiology team here. So it would mean, in terms of the detail, the architecture detail, I think we're not at that point yet in terms of submitting those plans, but it would mean a smaller building. It would not necessarily be, if you look at the MUHC site right now, it has all the separate hospital, but fused together. So the Shriners, the adult and the pediatric sides are all, and the research institute are all blocks together. So it would not be another block fully there, because I think it comes with quite a cost.
Right.
But I think it would be aesthetically pleasing enough. Would it be perfect? No. But we sadly do not live in a perfect world. And but it would be enough to give spacious room for patients, and to give especially with regards to critical care standards, meets the criteria right now, which is quite. Which is not the case right now.
So the other thing, my mother was a patient at the Neuro, and one of the things I remember most vividly was taking transport pretty much almost every day over to the Glen or to the General, because you didn't have, for example, imaging that was needed to be doing. I can't even remember what the other things were. I mean, it worked for us, and we were very grateful to have it. But I can totally see how it would be more convenient to be out at the Glen. But it sounds to me, and I don't know if I'm hearing this right, but it sounds to me like you're really downgrading your ask. You're like, we wanted a new building. We're not going to get that. So now we're going to take a couple of modules somewhere on the site. Is that fair? Is that how do you feel about that?
I think there's of course, is it fair? Should we have a $1.5 billion project for us as it was originally planned? I believe in that vision, and I think that such a storied and prestigious institution deserve that. Mm-hmm. I think we should be proud of the Neuro as a society of what we've put throughout decades. I mean, you referred to the building being from the 1970s and 80s. It is not from the 1970s and the 80s.
No, it's older.
It's much older, and it was Dr. Penfield and his legacy is it's just a tremendous institution. It has brought so much to the patients, to the research side. We should be proud as Québécois and Canadians to have such an institution within our country and province, and we should be aiming at giving this institution what it deserves. At the same time, I think there is obviously the politics of it, and I do not want to comment too much on this, but it seems that in the current atmosphere that we will not be getting this right away, not at this time, and we have to compromise for our patients and trying to come up with a compromis. But it is a compromis. It is not. I would be lying if I was telling you that we don't need the other building. No, the vision is still the same, but.
I hear you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do have a deadline, but I want to ask you one more question. And just that, so basically the ask went from 1.5 billion to 100 million. Is that right? And now the ask seems to be 100 million right now. Have you heard anything from Santé Québec?
I am not at the level of having a response from Santé Québec. Right. I am on the Neuro executive, so I think there is a good, it seems that discussions are ongoing. Is it official or not? I cannot comment more on this, but it is felt that, we are showing good faith, I think, in this process by you are right that it was not always 1.something billion, but with inflation costs over time, what was, I think, in the hundreds of millions in 2015, 16 is now actually in the billions, in the $1 billion range.
I'm gonna have to stop you there, but we'll definitely keep following this story, and really appreciate your time this morning.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's Justin Létourneau. He's the director of the Montreal Neurological Hospital Receiving Area and a critical care physician.